I got to turn our old cow barn into a party space.
What?
My parents just let me take over the barn because we didn't have any animals anymore. So I turned it into like a little clubhouse.
Yeah.
And we'd have, even had punk rock shows in the garage. We'd invite bands out.
Wow.
And we'd it'd be like 30 people in a barn and a band.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's a fair introduction of Samantha Mugeni.
And Darren Collins.
And together we are the
Gluten Warriors.
We worry about gluten.
All the time.
All the time.
Every time. All the damn time.
Hello, Sam.
Hi. Did we know we were going to do something dumb?
I didn't know I was going to do anything dumb until I did it. Yep.
I had a feeling. I had a suspicion you were going to do something interesting.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And welcome to the listeners/viewers who are here today.
Thank you for joining us. I am Samantha Mugeni.
I'm Darren Collins.
And together we are
The Gluten Worriers.
We worry about gluten all the time.
Yeah.
So you don't have to.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And today we have a topic that's very close to my heart because I love to party. I am still young and vivacious.
Party
And
after party.
Party after party.
Party after party.
There's a song,
party
right?
After party.
Party after party.
Party after party.
After party.
Yeah.
After party. Yeah, that's me. That's my life.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
don't
I've
go to
been
a
doing
lot
the
of
past
parties.
couple of days.
Really?
Actually.
You've been partying?
A lot. Heavy.
House parties?
All of them.
Oh, really?
In the house, outside the house, at the club. Crazy. I was out last week, Thursday. And that was a house party. And then I was at the club. I was at Brew Bistro on Friday night. And then on Saturday, I was in the house with my siblings. It was supposed to be like just a chill evening.
Yeah, and then it turned into a party?
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Because, our family
What's your
is
sisters?
lit family. My sister and my brothers.
Oh, that must have been fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're most welcome, my brother.
I would like to actually go to a house party.
Really?
Yeah, because I never get invited in. I like to go into homes. That's more fun.
Huh.
That's my thing because then it's not loud like a club.
I see.
I never, even when I was like, 19, 20, 21, I was never into clubs.
Oh. Did you ever host a house party when you were a teenager? Just break the law.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just do like whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
My parents are out of town. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we did all that. But that was a tough time because, I wanted to have a good time, but I always felt so miserable from beer. I didn't know that it was full of gluten, so I always felt extra sick. And people were like, "Oh, you drink too much." Like, I don't think I drank too much. I'm just in a lot of pain. And I remember I was at a house party, about the same age, and they had whiskey, and it's like I got wrecked. And it's like everyone just thought, oh, he's like a lightweight, or like he's overdoing it. And I was like, I just don't think that's what's going on. And then I found out years later that those whiskeys,
they be having some gluten in them.
Having some gluten, and it's like really compounds the pain
effects.
associated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that was good. Did you throw house parties when you were
Me? No, I was such a good girl. Goody two shoes. Never did that. And even if I would have wanted to, I think my father would have murdered me. And I really wanted to make it to my 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to turn our old cow barn into a party space.
What?
My parents just let me take over the barn because we didn't have any animals anymore. So I turned it into like a little clubhouse.
Yeah.
And we'd have, even had punk rock shows in the garage. We'd invite bands out.
Wow.
And it'd be like 30 people in a barn and a band.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Why don't you do that anymore?
Hosting parties is expensive.
It's,
in a sense. I live in a really cool place, but it's hard to get to, hard to get out of. So people don't like to come out there.
I see. Well, I would come if you invited me.
The day will come when I'd like to be a party host again. I really enjoyed hosting parties when I had a house in Texas. We did these parties where made it special. Like there was always activities. There was plenty of activities to do.
Yeah.
So people could actually when we had entertainment, I always brought in entertainers. We had a fire whip guy come one time who he did a whip act with fire.
Fire?
Yep.
Ooh.
And we'd even fill up like the washing machine with ice.
What?
Make that like a cooler for beers and stuff. And the bathtub, we had whenever anyone would go in to use the bathroom, they could come out with a prize because there was we had a fishing pole, and the bathtub was filled up with little rubber duckies with hooks on them, and people could fish for the ducks. And the ducks had a little number on them, so they come out, they could get a prize associated with whatever number was on their duck. What? So even like using the toilet was like, a fun part of the party.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I would come to those parties.
Yeah, great music. We'd have open mic comedy, and then we'd also have like a knife throwing. I'd had knife throwing set up in my backyard.
Knife throwing.
Yeah, knife throwing is really fun.
Isn't that dangerous?
Yeah, in a sense that there could be a ricochet, I suppose.
Yeah.
But there's a popular thing in USA now
terrible aim and
where pubs and clubs have tomahawk or hatchet or axe throwing.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Because it's not actually that hard to make it stick. It's just the accuracy is kind of hard. So at a party, it's just kind of fun.
But everyone's drunk.
Well, yeah.
And they're teenagers.
No.
Aim.
I'm no longer, I'm talking about adulthood now.
Oh, we thank God.
Yeah. Which is no safer to have adults necessarily. Yeah.
I was so concerned.
But yeah, I love throwing parties. I like going to parties as long as there's something special going on, some sort of games and activities and whatnot.
Okay.
Instead of just music and talking. I like extras.
I like the music and talking.
I like that too.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be strangers, I also like to have activities.
Yeah, it's easier to just have like games as sort of like a distraction or an icebreaker. Yeah, somewhat. Okay. And going out into the world, to the clubs.
Yeah, I've gone out to Brew Bistro several times, but mostly just to eat because they have a really great gluten-free option.
They do?
Nachos. Their nachos are not bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had their nachos before.
Yeah.
I just generally don't eat there.
4 times. I've been to both Brew Bistros. The one on Gong Road seems to be better in terms of the nachos.
Yeah.
And I've probably had it 4 times. Never had any sort of side effects from it.
Okay.
And it's a little more sugary. I like the sauce they put on it is a little silly. It's not as authentic, I suppose.
Okay.
You can taste the sugar in it.
I see.
But yeah, it's delicious. I like to go there for nachos, and I like to go to Que Pasa for nachos.
Okay. I've been to Que Pasa, but that was before I discovered I was gluten intolerant. I had a burger there. Never gone back. And Brew Bistro, I go there for the cocktails and a nice time out. They have like really, on Friday, I had a frozen daiquiri and it just like blew my mind. It was so good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was made with so much love.
The frozen daiquiri at Brew Bistro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like daiquiris,
So
I
good.
suppose. Yeah. So this is a topic that you're passionate about. Tell me about your experience with gluten in parties.
Whew, okay. So quite like you, when I first started drinking, I started with wine because I was trying to be safe. And then I would notice that there are certain wines that when I would take, I get really bloated. And then there's other wines when I take, I'm okay. But I never knew what the issue was. So I just used to blame it on sulfites.
Okay, I don't actually know anything about this. So tell me, what is the difference? Because I've experienced that too, but I didn't know there was.
So it turns out that there are wines where in the fermentation process, they actually use gluten as part of the fermentation. And this occurs mostly with like the white wines and the rosés, the ones that are not your typical red. Yeah. So the science behind it apparently is when the barrels or the oaks that they put the wine in, sometimes they use like a gluten something, the thickener to close the barrels tends to have gluten for that sticky effect, right? So it can like close properly. And then that can sip into the wine.
And that's typically in which wines?
Whites and rosés. So basically anything that's like flavored or off the norm, because it could also be from the additives or the flavorings.
Really?
Yeah. And that goes even now for like your other flavored alcohols, like your flavored vodka, your flavored whiskeys, flavored rum as well. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I discovered that this year. As a friend, I was talking to a friend of mine who's also gluten intolerant, and she was like, "This is the discovery she had made about wine, which is why for her she only ever drinks red."
Okay.
Yeah, because she's like, you're safer with the reds than you are with the whites and the rosés and any other.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew nothing of this.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, because I definitely noticed that sometimes wine will make me feel uncomfortable, and sometimes it won't.
Yeah, but depends on the brand. It's not always the same.
Oh, really? So it's not even
Yeah.
necessarily whites versus reds. It could actually be the brand.
Could also be the brand, yeah, because there's also cross-contamination, right? Where it has been made, has it come into contact with anything that has wheat or barley?
Because if you Google it, like most of the time it says like if the distillation process kills any gluten that might be in your alcohol. So that may be true, but that doesn't mean that the fermentation process or some other part of the process might also have gluten.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Really? So, so do you have a go-to that's like is always safe?
I do not have go-tos, but I have, not in the sense of like, this is definitely gluten-free, but just like when I take this wine, I'm okay.
You feel okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's this one called Mucho Mas, which is really nice. You can find it in Naivas. I've never found it at Carrefour. It's in most liquor stores.
It's called Mucho
Mas. M-A-S.
M-A-S. Okay. Mucho Mas.
Mucho Mas.
Okay.
And then there's also Nederburg has not murdered me yet. Any of the Nederburgs.
I like that your definition of comfort is not murdered.
Yes, because like with gluten, you're either alive or you're almost dying.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So those are basically my brands for wine. And then beers are like part two. I've never liked beers. The first time I smelled a beer, I remember making this comment to my friend. I was like, it smells like a man.
It smells like a man.
It smells like a man. And I was like, this is definitely not a drink for me. I'm not about it. But I was also quite young when that happened.
Yeah, I don't drink beer. I never really have. I tried when I was like 18. I think I drank beer every day for 30 days to see if I could accumulate a liking to it. And I did. I started to like it, but it didn't feel good. The flavor got tolerable after 30 days straight. Like I'd had like one beer a day. I just graduated from high school, so it was like summertime. And whatever. I want to be like my friends.
Yeah, you want to be cool.
But it was not so much cool as like not picky again. Like, I don't like that. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But it never stuck.
Oh,
I don't think I've had a beer. Maybe I had a beer maybe when I was like 21 or 22, but that, a long time ago. But no, I don't. And apparently there are gluten-free beers in America. But
I've seen that.
Have you seen them here?
I haven't seen them here, but even from the movies, they don't taste that great. The gluten-free beer.
What? Are you watching movies about people drinking gluten-free beer?
Yeah. There's a show I was watching some time back. It's like a French show, follows the terrible decisions of one human being, and in her circle of friends, she has a friend who discovers that she's celiac and she really loves beer, but now she has to graduate from drinking the normal beers to gluten-free beers, and every time someone places a gluten-free beer in front of her, she just cusses because it is so bad.
Yeah.
She says.
I can almost
So I
taste it right
believe
now.
her.
I can almost taste it right now. It's not a good flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess the reason why gluten-free beers are like important to have if you're gluten intolerant is because beers are made from items that have gluten, right? The grains that have gluten, because it's malt or barley. And those ones are heavy in the gluten family. Sometimes also rye.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, I don't know if rye maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I'm throwing the ball into your court because I don't know much about this.
Yeah.
And it's not I've never been interested anymore in beer at all.
Okay.
But the ciders, I'll go for ciders.
Ciders any day. Ciders are good.
Yeah, some of them are awfully too sugary, so you feel bad for other reasons. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't, because I just thought about it this morning on the drive over. I haven't had probably sugar in
Yeah.
at least a week.
Oh,
Since I last saw you. I don't think I've had anything sugary,
wow.
anything with sugar in it.
See, I was telling you earlier, you're a really healthy human.
Kind of. I have some pretty bad habits. But yeah, in terms of like what I actually eat, I do a pretty good job. But the thing I wanted to ask you about was what are there dangerous cocktails? Because there's other things besides ciders that like they're very, very sugary, so that feels weird.
Yeah.
But then there's like Smirnoff Ice, which is not a beer. Is it a vodka drink?
Yeah, it's a vodka drink.
But it's sort of flavored in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty certain that the ones in North America have gluten, but I've heard that the ones in other parts of the world don't. And I have had some sips of those before, and I didn't feel anything. I think our version that we have in Kenya is maybe okay.
Yeah, I think that one's okay because I also haven't had like a bad reaction.
Yeah, but I think that the one thing I think I do know about these other drinks that are beer adjacent is that you just need to look for the word malt again, because if it's a malted beverage, it's out.
Yes, or barley.
Right, but it doesn't usually say a barley beverage, but the phrase malted beverage will be in the description on the bottle somewhere. It might not even be in the ingredients. It might be somewhere on the can. It'll say a malted beverage.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so those are definitely out, but the Smirnoff Ice seems to be okay.
Yeah, that one's okay. Which ciders do you like?
I like most of them. I remember when Snap came into the market here. That was like 2012. I think they launched early 2012.
Yeah.
And that was tasty, but it was totally 100% marketed to women. So like it was, guys would just give me hell all the time. I'm like, why do you care what people are drinking? What's the deal? Like, I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah.
But so that was like this weird stigma. And then, but the little Savannah ones,
yes,
a lot of them are great, but I feel like at one point we got a bad batch in Kenya because all of a sudden it started tasting bad. And that was a couple of years ago. I was like, this is not the same as it was.
It's not as good.
And I heard that there actually was like at least one truck that was like left in the sun. Like on its way over here. It was stuck in customs or something.
Oh.
And so that was the excuse at that time, but I haven't had many good ones since then.
Yeah.
Tusker cider's okay, but it's way too sugary.
It is very sugary.
I think that's what's known about Tusker is that it's a sugary beer.
And then I don't like that with the Tusker cider, I can almost like, I feel like I can taste the fermentation. It's like it's still fermenting.
It's not done yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not very good. And Kenya Originals is like, each one is worse than the other. But they are sort of improving. Like,
are they?
Yeah, because I was a judge at a beauty pageant in Kajiado one time, and they were the sponsor. And I was like, I like ciders. Give me one of each. And like my face the whole time was just, I was like, I'm committing to this. It's got to be a better flavor than this. And the next one was terrible. The next one was terrible. And like, it's so cool that they're trying for that first run. But now I have one fairly regularly when I go to the comedy club.
Yeah.
And they seem to be better in general. None of them are great.
I don't like them. I think my issue with them began, there's a time when it was my go-to cider, when they're still new and I was trying out all the different flavors. Also, I think they're like stronger than the usual ciders, like in terms of alcohol content, because I would just get drunk so fast. I
feel pretty interesting when I'm on my third one.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm kind of tipsy.
There's a kick.
There's something going on.
Yeah. So that's like my issue number one. And then secondly, I noticed that sometimes they would have like sediments at the bottom.
That's okay.
Is it?
Sure.
I associate that with
reality.
Like, I'm okay with traditional brews having sediments at the bottom, like Muratina or whatever.
Pineapple juice.
But they're not like particles. They're a pulp.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That doesn't.
Yeah, that was really my issue. So I stopped taking Kenyan Originals because of that.
Well, it certainly is a safe way to go, and
Yeah.
I don't mind any particles. I have no standards.
Okay.
But I don't want it to make me go because that's what was happening the first time I had them.
Yeah.
But it's probably the only thing I drink at the comedy club. is a Kenya original. Have lime and ginger.
Lime and ginger. That was a good.
That's probably the best one that they have.
Good flavor.
But then they have that now that the people have been promoting Manyata, which looks like it's just a ripoff of Kenya originals. Looks like it's clearly they're just trying to compete.
I've had a sip of it. I didn't like it.
It's even more sugary.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm guessing it's the same company that makes Tusker.
Yeah.
And so they just dump a bunch of sugar in it. So I mean, it's probably more. It doesn't make you go as much, but it's not like I don't know.
Yeah, it's like an okay cider. My go-to cider is a Hunter's Dry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better, Hunter's Dry or Hunter's Gold?
Hunter's Dry. Hunter's Gold is too sweet, man. It's like all the sugar just dumped in there.
I think Hunter's Dry is probably the best one that we have in Kenya.
Yeah, I agree. Hunter's Dry any day. Responsible drinking is the main message here.
It's not. It's definitely not the main message.
What is the main message, Darren?
The main message is don't forget that your gluten intolerance extends to the things that you drink as opposed to just the things that you eat. And definitely watch out because the liquid form of that can hit you in a lot more uncomfortable ways. And it can ruin a night out for certain. It really can.
Yeah.
So definitely
or a week,
read your labels.
The whole week after, depending on how dire your reactions are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So listen to your body and listen to Sam.
Yes. And always, read the ingredients or Google it if you can't.
Yep.
All right. And that's it from us.
Well, thanks for listening and watching, everyone. I'm Darren Collins.
And I'm Samantha Mugeni. And together we are
the Gluten Warriors. Goodbye, everyone.
Up next, Restaurant Review with Sam and Darren.
Yeah, we have a list of little list of restaurants that we've been to, I think. And we're going to review them according to their glutenability.
There we go. So I'll pick one and we'll talk about it. And then you'll pick one and we'll talk about it. And we'll keep at it until,
Until we're done talking about it.
Yeah. So ready, steady. I'll go first.
It's always a pleasure to go to a new place. So hopefully if we talk about something that you've never been to or I've never been to or the viewers have never been to, it's going to be eye-opening and
a wonderful experience. Like I have on here.
What do you have?
Inti.
Oh, I've never been. What is this place?
You've never been to Inti?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So it's I think like Asian. I don't know which Asian cuisine they prefer.
It's like a fusion of some sort.
Yeah, because they call themselves Inti Nikkei experience. Yeah, I also don't know what that means.
No
but
idea.
When I went there, I was craving sushi. So I had a sushi platter at Inti.
Was it delicious?
It was so good. The sashimi was super, super fresh. Especially like sometimes people get the salmon wrong. Is it salmon wrong?
Salmon.
Yeah. But they got it right. And I really appreciated that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the thing that I really, really liked about my experience at Inti was the dessert.
Okay.
Yeah. So for dessert, obviously they didn't have like so many gluten-free options because normally it's either you get fruit or ice cream.
Okay.
And I told them that I was gluten intolerant and I wanted like a gluten-free dessert. And so what could they do for me?
Mm-hmm.
And the wait staff went into the kitchen to have a conversation with the chef and then came back outside and they were like, they can put like some crumbs, biscuit crumbs on the ice cream. And the biscuit crumbs are gluten-free. And I was like, are you sure this is gluten-free? And they were like, confirmed by the chef.
Okay.
And I was so glad because it tasted so good.
Really?
It also looked really nice when it came because they did like a scoop of ice cream, 2 scoops of ice cream because I am who I am. And they had like some berries also on the side with the mint leaf and then the crumbs.
Wow.
Like all around
really nice.
the bowl.
So what's the atmosphere of this place?
It was so good. It's in Westlands, at One Africa, at the very top. It has a beautiful view of Nairobi at the top, the very top.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it, what's the vibe like? Is it like fine dining or something? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
It is fine dining. The ambience is fantastic. They have like this nice jazzy tunes that they play because that helps you with your culinary experience.
Helps you with digestion. Saxophones are great for digestion.
Who knew? Yeah, but definitely would go there again. At first, I thought like guys were going there just because of the hype. But we have a mutual friend who went there before I did, and he like only had high praise, so I had to go try Jesse.
Okay.
Shout out to Jesse.
Hi, Jesse. So they're okay. Well, that sounds cool. So it's an Asian style, like Asian fusion or something, or whatever. Fine dining, like you're definitely like 2,000 a plate or something.
Thereabouts. They also have this really expensive steaks.
Oh.
There's one I saw that goes for like 16,000 a plate.
Oh, well, I don't need.
Yeah. So if you're like really big on your steaks and you like to,
I'm big on my steaks. I'll wait for my birthday.
yeah, definitely do that.
No, I'll wait for a few more birthdays before I have a 16,000.
Believe in yourself, sir.
The Gluten Worriers Podcast is produced by Arro Digital. The show is executive produced by Eva and Sam Mugeni. Our editing is done by VoiceBox Studios. Join us next Wednesday for another episode of The Gluten Warriors. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, AfriPods, and wherever you get your podcasts from.